everyone, and welcome to Caroline's Craftery, and welcome to part 2 of the Along the Shore journal build, which we are going to do a little folio style type thing using some file folders. Now mine are like this brown color. I just thought that it was a good color. Now, the sizes, of course, is going to vary. You can do this any size you want. This is just the size that I decided to do. My cover is about 8, but my bottom piece is a bit bigger, and we'll go through all the measurements as we're doing things with them. And it's 8.5 inches high. So I've kind of put together roughly what I want to do. So there's going to be like a little gatefold type thing on the front. I've got a big huge envelope. It's going to be like a half page. I've got one of these weird long envelopes. And then there's like a page that's just a little bit smaller than the cover. A couple pockets for there. A big envelope that will go here. It's got a big window on it. Couple little envelopes for the other side of the half a page. The back, I'm just going to do a big pocket on it. So, as I say, we'll get into all the measurements as we're doing different pieces. So let's start. We're going to start with this gatefold thing that's going to go on the front inside cover. Now for this, I've left the tab things on. And the way I'm going to make it is that's going to fit together, fold in together like that. I hope. So let's start. I should have saved some time and I should have inked all this stuff before, but I didn't. So let's just quickly ink it now before I forget. Because I'm good at forgetting to ink what I wanted to ink at times. Sometimes I remember really good, but when I'm doing it on video, I forget. Okay, and I want to do this side. I want to ink it before because when I put the paper on, I want to ink the paper too. So I guess technically I could have inked these edges after, but you know how it goes. I could have used cream colored, but for whatever reason, I was drawn to this color of file folders, and I have quite a few of them too. So, and I usually get mine at the thrift stores. I always see file folders at the thrift stores. And right now I probably have 200 or so file folders. So I have quite a few to use up. I do quite often use them for the back of tags. Just because if I want a good sturdy tag, these are great for that. Just ink this side. Okay, there's that. This piece here is going to be for a pocket on the inside, because then when this gatefold card is there and you put something in the pocket, it's not going to just slide out the bottom. So let's get rid of the dust off of there. Now, I want to, let's just move that aside. I'm going to use this page on the outside of these things. Now I actually made a list of the order I had to do this in, because I gave it some thought on, okay, how am I gonna what order do I need to do things in order to get it. So it doesn't really matter whether it crosses this away or this away, until of course I put the paper on. Let's just trim this right down this away. You could trim this on your paper trimmer too, but by the time I get up and grab mine, and I don't have anywhere to put it when I'm working on stuff. Okay, now gotta think of how the best way to get that curve is, and I'm wondering if I should just trace it and then cut on the inside of it. And do I want it right to the edge or a little bit in? Let's try that. We're just going to tuck it to the back of the pocket thingy. And do I have my pencil somewhere? Right here. Okay. Let's just, if it doesn't work, I can just print off another piece of paper. There is that. Let's trim this off right at, I want to take the line off where I drew. Hope you're following along with this videos. There is a playlist for this one. I've got a playlist for the dragon journal build that I did as well. Okay, I didn't do a very good job right there. I used Tim Holtz scissors, love them. Now, how is that going to fit on there? We'll deal with those white spots in a second. I think that will fit quite nice. I just got to trim the end. And once I trim off that white, let's cut that white off now. I do like printing borderless, but my printer does not do borderless. I want to get an eco tank one day, hopefully very soon. If you have an eco tank printer, leave me a message on the model number that you have and whether it prints borderless. I know some of them do not print borderless. Okay, so I'm going to put that. I'm going to see the little lines there, but I think that'll be fine. Okay, let's get this kind of where I want it. And then I can mark this here, so then I can trim that off. So everything is going to be nice and even. Okay. I know it would be easier with a paper trimmer, but actually for this, I have this one right here. We could use it for this. This is a Tonic Studio little guillotine. And it is a nice little cutter. I like it. There we go. This one I like because it's nice. Does a 9-inch piece of paper, so it's a nice size. I like the size. Okay, let's double check to make sure that is going to fit on there. Perfect. I like that. Now we get to cut the other side, which we are going to use this side of the paper. I have no idea how many videos will be in this build. We'll just take one day at a time on it. Okay, let's do the same. Oh, actually, I think I want to make sure that the beach is there. So let's, oh, hold on. This might already be cut to fit there. Okay, it's not quite right though, is it? It's a little bit different. Mind you, we could just trim that off a little bit, couldn't we? Let's try that. Let's do this. This is just flying by the seat of my pants doing this. This is pretty much how I make my journals all the time. It is nice to have a few things prepared for the videos just to make them go a little faster. Okay, I think that will work. And it takes me right to there. So that'll be nice. I like that. Let's trim this off just so then I can see my file folder underneath it. My idea for this is I'm going to make a couple little journals to actually go inside of it. And then you could just replace the journals as you needed to. There's that. Let's line this up kind of where we want it. Okay, that's still not right there though. I don't like that. I need to... Okay, it's lined up, so I need to take some of this off. I think that will be good. Let's mark where I need to cut it here. And let's hope that okay. One problem when I am working on stuff like this just by the seat of my pants is I forget that I have you guys to talk to. Normally I don't talk very much while I'm actually making journals because I'm listening to a movie or YouTube, more likely YouTube. Okay, let's trim this. Okay. And let's see what we've got. That is better. I like that better there. So then these are going to be side by side. That'll be good. Good, 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 good. Okay, let's ink up the edges of these. That just helps cover up if there's happens to be a little white. If there happens to be a little pencil mark, it covers it up. I find it looks neater with ink around it. Okay, there is that. I did do the top. Yep, okay. And let's do this one. Yeah, so if you have an EcoTank printer, please leave a comment with the model number, whether it prints on cardstock or not, and if it does borderless, and what you think of it, you know, the quality of the printing and whatnot. Okay, now we can glue these on. Now, I sometimes glue a little bit differently than some people do. I am using art glitter glue, my favorite glue. I am just going to I did print on the back of these because I wasn't sure what pages I was going to use where. So I'm only going to put ink on about an inch of it. Because of the fact I always worry about the ink drying on there, and so this way I just put on a little bit. I want it relatively where I'm going to put it. Art glitter glue, it sticks pretty quick to paper, so you don't have a lot of playtime once it's down. Okay. That is good. Now all that I do is I just pull that back and I'll add more glue. So I'll put glue onto here and along this edge. It does take longer to do it this way, but this way I know that it's going to be on there, and then I just wipe in the one direction that I want it to lay, and usually I get pretty good coverage like so, and I'll just keep going until I get to the end. I can probably do the rest of this in one gluing. I know I see people add the glue to the back of a fairly big piece, and like I say, I'm always worried that the glue's going to dry before I get all my glue on there. And there is that piece. Perfect. And now for this one, again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with the big side, or the big width, I guess. Okay. And now, because this way I can put the side that doesn't have the glue on it. I can get it where I want it before I actually glue it down. There we go. And now again, we'll just put some along the edge. And usually I take my glue and I run it kind of right at my fold. It's not really a fold, where I've got it curled back. Okay. And let's do the rest. This time, make sure I get quite close to the edges. There we go. Okay, there is those two done. Now when they fit together, it's going to be kind of like so. It's kind of good because actually you can see the little piece of the starfish right there. So that's kind of cool. Didn't really plan on that. So one of the main things when I put this in, you can already see that these little sides aren't going to line up. That's not a big deal. But I want to make sure that they're even when I glue it into the thing. So let's bring back this. Actually, I need to put my little things. I've got a few goodies. I've got 2 brads. I picked a nice kind of a blue. I thought it kind of went good with there. Got a piece of string. And I've got 4 little circles. I got a little punch here that I use. 5/8 of an inch round punch. And I always use this size when I'm doing my policy envelope closures. Let's glue 2 of these together. And again, these are just made with the file folder, just to make it a little bit stronger. Okay. And a little bit of glue on there. Okay. Now I want to mark the middle. I'm just gonna bring it over here. I know you can't see it. I want to be able to see it. I just got a little mark in the middle because it's hard when I put the paper punch right here. This is a Martha Stewart thing. I have no idea how big the hole is. It's just the right size for a brad to go through. Just a kind of a medium to small brad. Now I do want to ink the edges of these as well. So let's do that really quick. You could use some of the pattern paper for this to kind of blend in, but I thought the color blended in okay with like the sand and the rocks and whatnot. Okay, now for this, I'm just gonna kind of guess where they're gonna go. If they're not perfectly even, that's okay. I'm gonna just use the bottom of this to make sure that I have them kind of straightish, if that makes sense. So something like so, and I think I'm going to put them, I guess, see, because I could put them down or up, but I think I'm going to put them fairly even along that where the curve. I don't know where I should put it. Let's put it over that curve. And let's put it, let's go 3/4 of an inch away from the middle. Okay, so that's going to be where my policy tabs will be. Let's, oops, put our hole in there, and one there. And then I have a couple of these big circles. I'm going to use those on the inside to give a little, just kind of to hold the end of the brad. I have a punch for these too, and it is, looks like 1 3/8 of a punch. But anything, you're not going to see these anyways, and they're going to just go on the inside. And just to give some strength behind the brad, because this is going to have paper on it anyways. Might have to cut these a weird size too, just because of that little bend in there. Oh, why did I put a hole in? I don't need to put a hole in those. Okay, in goes the brad, and then the brad into here. And I thought that would look good, and it could just be like a little gem that was on the beach or something like that. Let's bend that over. And when I'm doing brads, I always tip them up and then give them a good push, like so. Now this one, I have to remember to put the string on it. And I just tie a little knot. It's not like, you know, person's going to be pulling on it really hard. So I'll just usually tie just a normal knot. And again, I decided on this brown string because I kind of thought it looked like a rope. Just trim that off because I don't want it peeking out from there. And now through here, and let's bend that over. There we go. Like I say, these are just to stop it's just to give it a little bit extra support on the back. Now I could have just ripped a little piece. I honestly don't know why I did a little circle. It really was not necessary. Now I want to leave enough room here because you're going to see that edge a little bit. Once I put my paper there, I'm still going to see that edge. Now I'm hoping I can get all this done in one video, like this setup. I don't like my videos to be too long. I try to for sure keep them under an hour. So now that that brad is there, it does make it a little harder to glue stuff on and whatnot. Okay, there is that. Now I could glue this on and then put the backs on, but I decided I was going to do the backs first. And I am going to use this paper here. Let's cut this. And I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the front. I'm going to cut this off too. So I'm going to do this because it's going to be exactly the way I did the front. And then when I'm done, I will be back to show you the next step. Okay, so I've got the inside done. Like I say, I did it exactly the way I did the outside. Now we're going to glue these on. So this one is going to go against the fold. But I want to leave a little bit of space because I don't want it to bind when I'm turning. So let's put some glue on there. We'll want to put not a lot of glue, but enough that it's going to hold this file folder on there. And let's, hopefully I'm in frame. I want to line it up. I want to line it up as good as I can get it along that fold. I got maybe 1/8 of an inch between the door and that. Press that down for a second, make sure that it's stuck on there good. Open it up, got a little bit of glue right there, that's okay. We'll put something there to cover that up, it's not a biggie. So now this one is going to be a little bit harder because we got lots of lining up to do. Now I want it down by the thing. This one can go almost to the edge. Sure, I want it right to the edge because I don't want it to show through on the other side. I'm going to make sure that I leave just, there's hardly anything there. I'm not even sure you can actually see it on camera. So like I say, this one is a little bit harder because of the lining up that we have to do. Okay, now I guess I pretty much have to have it off to glue it. So let's put some glue on there. Can't say I've actually made a pocket like this before. Oops, how did I get glue on the front? Okay. Now if I line that up there and there, that's about the distance that I had it. Let's make sure it's going to line up fairly well. Okay, let's hope for the best on this. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. And then that's going to fit together. Okay, it looks fairly even. We got that there. So then when that goes together, that gets done up. I think that looks pretty nice. Now I want to cover, I'm going to make a pocket for in here, because that's going to stop stuff from falling out the bottom. Let's cut that right now. Again, I don't want it right to the fold because I don't want to cause the things not to close because stuff is in the way. Now this was no particular size really, it was just a leftover piece. That's going to fit right there. I'll probably put it right at the bottom. No, actually I'm going to leave a little tiny bit. But that's going to go there. We will decorate it somehow. Okay, now I didn't pick a piece for the back here, which I should have. Actually, let's do a piece of, I think that will go good there. Put a piece of tea-dyed paper on the back there, like that, maybe. Oh, decisions. I don't know. We've got some green too. Yeah, let's go with that, because then that way you can write on it, and once something is in the pocket, you're not going to see as much of it either. So, and this is original tea-dyed paper. Actually, let's put it this way. Let's cut that. I want it fairly close to the edge. So if I do that, and this here, let's draw our line there. I think I'm just going to tear this, actually. It'll tear straight enough to go there. Now I don't really need the bottom because of the fact this pocket is going to be there. So we could tear this off right, no, somewhere around there. Then we have a nice little piece for later for something. So that'll go there. This pocket will go here. Okay, the paper is a little bit wider. So I think I'm going to trim that down just a tiny little bit. Doesn't have to be much. Okay, there's that. And this way, when that's on there, then the pocket will cover up the edges. Perfect. And, I think that looks good. Like I say, there's going to be something in here. Okay, let's ink the edges of this. This is some of my tea-dyed colored doily paper. And I color it using whatever, inks, fabric dyes, food coloring, shimmer mists, paint, anything. This definitely has shimmer mist on it because I could see the shimmer. I have bought shimmer mist, and I have some homemade stuff as well. Okay, let's get rid of that. We need to turn this away, so then when I'm putting it on, I can, get an idea of what I'm doing. Make sure I've got the top up there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get my glue along the edge. Come down about an inch. I know this takes a lot longer this way to glue, but let's Let's make sure we got that fairly straight before we push it down. The actual tea-dyed paper is a little harder to glue down because it's, well, for one thing, it's not as straight as just paper before you do that. And also because it twists it out of shape some. So you kind of always got to allow for that, which is okay. Okay, here we go. Let's glue that part down. And again, I just go the direction I want to go. If there's little puckers or folds in it, I'm not too worried about that. It adds good character to the book, or folio, or whatever you're making. So I'm thinking in this pocket, I'm going to put the leftovers from the kit in it. That way, this will be for sale when I'm done. And that way, whoever gets it gets some extra pieces of the digital kit and stuff that I'm using. And they can add stuff in, or if they're going to make, like if they use up the little journals that I make for inside here and they make their own, they'll have some goodies to put in it, etc. So there is that. Now this pocket is going to go here, but I want to decorate this somehow. Not quite sure what I want to do, although that piece fits on there fairly well. Let's use that on there. Got some goodies in here. I got these here. I was looking in my stickers and they look like bubbles. So I'm going to use some of those on there. All these goodies are... Try a wooden mermaid on there. I don't want to do too much mermaid stuff in here. It's more along the shore, but if you're going to see a mermaid, that's where you're going to see them. And I don't want anything too thick, of course. Now I do have lots of the cutouts. I found some other stickers. I've got these, which are just like a silver. And of course I got all the cutouts from the kit itself. So maybe I've got this here stuff too, which I thought was a great color and kind of looks like fishnet. Maybe some of that on there. And I got some cool metallic type stripes, different widths and stuff. So that might be able to go on there too. Let's pull these out. Usually I decide this type of stuff before I start videoing it. Oh, actually I quite like that silver on there. Nice seahorse. Okay, the wooden one is done. or even like a mermaid tail coming off the edge would be kind of nice. Definitely like those. They're kind of a rainbowy, not sure if you can actually see it on camera, but they're glittery, but they're kind of rainbow colors, so kind of like that. So let's cut this. Let's just move. I don't want to start gluing on this and then getting it all yucky. So let's put this here. Find my pencil that I just buried in all my stuff. Get about the same evenness around. Let's just draw that so we can make a line. And let's cut that off. Ink it up. I love the ocean. I haven't been to the ocean in many, many, many years. But I've always liked going along the shore and gathering stuff up. Okay, that's going to go on there. Let's glue that down right now. I need to make more tea-dyed colored doily paper soon. Getting low. I have an extra table set up in my craft room now. It's not a spare bedroom as well. And that's where I was going to do tea dyeing and stuff eventually at some point. Because the only other place I really have to do it is outside, and it's of course the middle of winter, so paper's going to freeze, not dry. I guess it'll sort of dry, but... And I don't do my papers in the oven. I find that just too tedious and too long. And plus I can't put plastic doilies in the oven. So I have a few really big industrial size cookie sheets that I actually use to dry my papers when I'm not doing it outside. There is that. Now I'm thinking maybe I could put a couple of these strips on there of different colors, but I really, really like this, and I'm thinking the mermaid tail. I think one like this would be the best. And make it just kind of look like she's swam off. We can put a seahorse on there as well. I'm liking this here. I have no idea where these stickers came from. One are fairly high up. Just like that. And now I'm thinking on putting just a piece of this somewhere. Maybe not where she is though. Let me just pick something out for this and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided, I put this little green sticker on there and I did it and then realized, well, I wasn't actually filming. But that's okay. So I decided I'm going to put this map with a piece of this underneath it. So I'm just going to, I've got this kind of tucked around a couple of the corners to make it look like the map is kind of tangled up in the net. So I'm just going to put a bunch of glue on the cardboard, and then the cardboard should hold down this wool type stuff. That's what I'm hoping. I think the map goes this way around. I'm going to have to hold this down a little bit just so it sticks. Let's put a little bit under the wool over here. I find usually just gluing down the paper usually holds the other stuff down, but every now and again you get just a spot that doesn't want to glue down, so I just add a little bit of extra glue. Okay. I want to put a little bit right here. Okay, I think that is not too bad. Person could write all in these spots. Let's bring back our piece here. Open that up. So this is going to go right in there. Now, I want to actually stitch this. I think it would look nice with some stitching around it. So I'm going to stitch it before I glue it down, of course, because it'll just be stitching on the pocket itself. So I will do that off camera because I know it will take a while. I don't even have any threads picked out or anything like that. So I'm going to do that off camera. And then when we do the next part of this project, you'll be able to see the stitching. And basically I'm going through page by page, so the next time we'll be working on the next page in this. So that's going to go around like that. Just a few times. I'll leave that string long for now, but I kind of thought, like I say, I kind of thought it looked like rope. So that is our first page in our little folio for or along the shore. So far so good. You can see here the difference in the length of the front cover and the back. And then I'm going to do something down there that you'll see. Hopefully you like this one. I think it will be a little bit longish, but that's okay. I hope to post a video for this every Tuesday is my plan until the folio is done. So stay tuned for more. We'll see you soon. Bye.